Hey guys, Malachite here. Just gonna do a little quick video since I'm not the end-all be-all of Buddhism and the Dalai Lama kinda is. So anyway, hi guys, since he is awesome sauce and a reincarnated Buddha himself, and I love him. Look how adorable and happy he is. He is such an inspiration to me. I am not a Buddhist, but I do take to heart a lot of the Buddhist philosophy of just being mindful and trying to be kind and things like that. People ask me a lot of times about Buddhism. I don't know a lot about it. I've got something pulled up here so I can help explain by reading, because what happens to me is I can sit and think about it and I'll remember it and I'll be fine, but the minute I start talking about it, I forget everything, and I don't want to do that. So I thought I'd just explain a little bit, but like I said, I am not a end-all be-all at all expert. If you want a lot of knowledge, any of the Dalai Lama books are good to start with. Any of them. I recommend The Art of Happiness. That book is fantastic because he got together with a writing partner that's a psychologist, I believe, and blended the art of meditation and Buddhist principles and then Western psychology together to see how alike they were and how they could work together to help depression. It's an extremely interesting book. Anyway, basically, Buddhism isn't a religion. I get asked that all the time. No, it is not. It is a philosophy. Do you have to be can you be a Christian and study Buddhism? Yes. Can you be a pagan and study Buddhism? Yes. They are not mutually exclusive. You can be a pagan and study Buddhism, and Buddha doesn't care. Buddha was not a god. Buddha did not claim to be a god, and Buddha doesn't want to be worshipped. Period. End of story. If you have Buddha statues and things like that in your house, they're not there to be worshipped. So the way I look at the Buddha statues, I've never even read about why they're there. It's just they're there for me as a reminder to be happy. The ones I have are Buddhai, and he was actually a Buddha. Anyone who is enlightened to the point of enlightenment that the Buddha was is a Buddha. So there's not just one Buddha. It's not like one person. So for example, anyone that attains enlightenment is a Buddha. So the Buddhai is the chubby, grab one here, the little chubby guy that you see all the time that's super happy. He's kind of different looking than the ones you normally see. Let me see if I can pull one out. That's, see my big face. The one you normally see with the big tummy, that's Buddhai. But Buddhai was a Buddha, and he traveled the country, and he had sweets in a little bag, and he traveled the country, and he would teach, and he would get a meal that you have to eat before noon if you are a monk, and if you don't eat before noon, you don't get to eat because you can't eat until the next day. And he would give sweets to the children, and that's why he has the little pouch. So but he was a Buddha as well, and he's very fortunate to have in your house. So that's why you see him more than the Buddha, which I also have. Anyway, so basically, Buddhism isn't a religion. No, it's a philosophy. And is it complicated? Yes. It's extremely complicated. I still don't understand the whole thing. But basically, all you really need to know, and I'm going to pull them up right now, are these three things. This is all Buddhism teaches. To lead a moral life, to be mindful and aware of your thoughts and actions, and to develop wisdom and understanding. That's it. You can go further into it if you want to, but you don't have to. It's as simple as that. That's what Buddhism is. That's all it is. And if you do those things, then you are able to achieve enlightenment if you are looking for enlightenment. But you don't have to be looking for enlightenment. You can just be using Buddhism as a philosophy to make your life better, to help with your meditation, things like that. So there's a really great site called buddhanet.net, and it's just like that, the word Buddha and then net all together, .net. It's fantastic. They have studies on here. You can go through study programs. It'll give you like basic Buddhism. That is not a thing. Basic Buddhism. A lot of Buddhists are vegetarian. Do you have to be? No. Basically, in Buddhism, the Buddha said that you take something, if someone teaches it, doesn't matter who, and you look at it, and if it's true and if it's right to you, then you keep it. Even if he said it. This is what he said. He said if it's not true and right for you, you check it out the window. It's not how you put it, but you check it out the window. You don't follow it. You don't practice it. Because if it's not true and right for you, then you're not being true and right to your true self, and you're not going to become enlightened, because you're going to be bogged down by trying to follow something that's not true and right for you. So as you can see, it's just a philosophy. The Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path are the two main things that you would learn about if you want to go further into Buddhism. The Four Noble Truths are one of the most important things, and they basically just explain the way the world works. And then the Eightfold Path basically explains how to live in the world. I think I'm explaining that right. It's been a while since I've read stuff like this. Yeah. That's the way I would explain it. So if you get interested in it, you can go to that website. You can get books like this. A friend sent me this one. She lives near a Buddhist temple. And then, like, the Dalai Lama has little books like this. And they just have little quotes in it. Let's see. If you see that some situation or person is going to cause you suffering, it is important to engage in techniques to avoid it. But once suffering has started, it should be received not as a burden, but as something that can assist you. Undergoing small sufferings in this lifetime can purify the karma of many ill deeds accumulated in former lifetimes. Adopting this perspective will help you see the ills of cyclic existence. And the more you can do this, the more you will dislike engaging in non-virtues. Now, like I said, not for everybody, but I have people ask me this question all the time because I wear this. And this is a mala. And it's bone and it's skulls, and it's from, I believe, probably Tibet. I got it at a metaphysical store, and they wear these skulls as protection, and it's bone, most likely it's yak bone, and they wear them for protection. So then people, because I'll tell them Buddhists do, and they'll ask me about it, and at least that's my understanding. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me, but that's my understanding with these, is it's a thing that's for protection. Anyway, but it brings up Buddhism, even if I'm wrong, so then people ask questions. So I just thought I'd make a really short video about that. Like I said, I don't know a lot about Buddhism, except those basic things, and those are the basic things I need, because that's what's helped me. And learning about the Dalai Lama, reading things that the Dalai Lama had said and has said, watching the Dalai Lama got me through the really rough patches in 2011 and 2012 before I became a pagan. I seriously considered becoming a Buddhist. In fact, I considered myself a Buddhist for about 6 months. There's many, many different kinds of Buddhism. It is practiced in, oh my gosh, I don't know how many different countries. It actually originated in India. It's practiced in India, Tibet, obviously, China, Vietnam, like Thailand, Japan even, all those countries, even this, I can't think of all the small ones, Cambodia, and it's different in every single country. There are changes in it, and it's different in every single country. So, which is kind of cool as well. But reincarnation is also a really big part in it. So the fact that you want to live this life as the best life, and you want to be seeking enlightenment in this life, but you don't cause yourself suffering in order to attain enlightenment. Life gives you suffering, and then you work through it, and by working through that, it helps you to gain enlightenment. I know a lot of people think with Buddhism you cause yourself suffering, and that's not true. There are some religions that do that. There's a lot of yogis in India that you will see starving themselves to death, putting themselves through a lot of pain. But that's a completely different religion that I don't even know the name of, but it looks really painful. So anyway, I hope that helped. And the Dalai Lama is a really, really happy dude. One of the other things I really like, they do it in Tibet. I don't know if they do it everywhere else, but they have these beautiful prayer flags. They're just small pieces of cloth. They're strung on a string, and then they're brightly colored, and you put your prayers on the flags, and then you tie them in the trees, and you'll see certain places throughout the countryside, just hundreds of them, just the trees are just brightly colored, and they hang there until they're just tattered, and then I believe you take them down and burn them, because the air takes the prayers and pushes them through the air and takes them up so that they can be heard. And so it makes sense you would burn them, because the air would continue to take them up, and so that they can be heard. So to me, that's kind of a type of intent, because you're tying them there and you're putting your intent into them that the wind is going to take your prayer, so that it can be heard as it whips through those flags and grabs onto the prayer and takes it. So I've always found that really, really beautiful. I would actually like to have some. I don't know how an apartment would feel about those being hung outside, though. Probably not real happy, but I might be able to get away with it. So anyway, I hope that was interesting, and if it was, I can read a little bit more about some of the things. Like I said, I'm not a teacher of this, and I never will be, and honestly, you guys can read it just about as well as I can read it out loud, but I'm more than happy to read it out loud and talk about it a little bit if you're interested in it. So anyway, yeah, so that's that, and hopefully answered some questions that maybe some of my friends have had about this. So anyway, take care and blessed be. Bye.